My dear friends, I have found a new junk store, thrift shop, charity shop, junk store, whatever you like to call it. Broken House literally means just like a thrift store, charity store for used second-hand goods. And this one looks quite funky here in Zurich, in the city. Anyone from Zurich watching? Maybe you've been there yourself. If not, head there. They've really set it out quite nicely. Anyway, let's see what we have in store for this episode. See if we can find any treasures this time round. Keep your eye out. If I miss something, don't forget to tell me that it's a treasure and I've missed it. So, what do we have here? Opera glasses. A beautiful thing of a bygone era. This is quite nice. This is advertising 1930s for bicycle tires. Isn't that a fantastic graphic? I love it. The colours are still vivid after 90 years. This one here, I think that's Bern in Switzerland. Isn't that beautiful though? It's really quite a nice painting for 15. It is a painting, by the way, for 15 francs, which is pretty close to 15 American dollars. That's not a bad buy. Here is an old photograph. I quite like that. Just this sort of solitary man with his children standing, no doubt, in front of their home. Not much going on there. Wish we could go back to those times. I do like that. 20 francs? I don't know. Might appeal to somebody. So here we have a quaint little scene here, a country scene for 14. It's only a print, but I tell you what, the frame is worth every one of those 14 francs or dollars. It's definitely worth the money, that frame. Beautiful with the wood veneer and the gold decoration on the outside. That is a bargain. Look at this, they have installed a big slide for children to keep them busy while their parents are looking for bargains. Isn't that fantastic? Do you remember these old telephones? I remember those from the 70s. I mean, they looked really chic, and they still do. They still do. I wonder if you could have some sort of a digital thing put in it so you could use it nowadays. I guess it's a bit heavy and clumsy, isn't it, in the era of the smartphone. You can't WhatsApp with it either. Nice looking design though. This stool, do you like it? I don't really like it. It hasn't decided whether it's a wicker chair or a velvet throne. Bit of a strange looking confection. Tell me if you like it. So this is the music section. I like how they've set this out. You can sit there on the bar stools and you can even order a coffee. You know, there's a lot of young people get in here. It's got a good vibe. It's right in the middle of the city. Now I like these Bauhaus lamps. Beautiful. Chrome and enamel. But the price is juicy. 450 Swiss francs. It's like $450. It's nice. It really is. I guess it's worth the money. I remember these. You could pick these up for $5 back in the 80s. These little sort of 1950s lamps. What have they got on here? 180 francs. Okay, yeah. Oh well, it's a good investment. They've definitely gone up in value, but they do look good. The old souvenir boomerangs. I had many of these when I was a kid. You've got to get a real one. The souvenir ones don't fly very well. They're usually flat-edged on the back. Whole boxes of keys here. $5 a key. Would you pay that? I wouldn't. What do you do with it? I'm sure they might. What do you do with them? What do you do with them? I don't know. Family portraits. I mean, yeah. I don't really collect family portraits. It has to be something really interesting on the photo. I mean, who buys family portraits of people you don't know unless you're trying to have instant ancestors? Not really interested myself, unless there's a really nice frame around it that I can reuse. All these people lost to time, my dear friends, as we will be one day as well. Unless, of course, we become famous, or infamous, or both. If you've already seen this segment, I will put up the time sequence on the screen where you can skip to. Some of you might have seen this on the preview that I did about a week ago. So it's just this cheap print. It's an antique print, nearly 100 years old, of the old part of Zurich. Not a great catch, which is why the Swiss people have left it. but you have to turn them around. I always look on the back of pictures. This can provide so much information, and sometimes it can reveal a beautiful little treasure like this. It's a poem. I've looked on the internet. I cannot see that this poem is copied from another source. Someone has written this poem out for a couple's engagement in 1927. Now, of course, I've looked, you can see on the side there that some avaristic little soul has ripped it apart, thinking, well, if there's a poem on the back, there must be squillions of dollars in old currency tucked behind. It's an old wives' tale. There's hardly any, I've never found anything. I've never found money or gold behind pictures, and I've opened up a lot of them, when I've had them reframed and stuff like that. Once I found a wedding photo, and once I found a pastel. That was quite nice, of an Edwardian lady. So the treasure was not to be found inside this picture. It is to be found written here on the back, and it's a beautiful poem, and I'm going to read it out to you. I translated it. It really is quite stormy and beautiful. Listen to this. Life's storms. It was true so wildly, so often. We believed, we hoped. It flashed, it cracked. We cried, we laughed. It pushed, it rammed. We prayed, we gave thanks, and if it got too sultry, too heavy for us, we loved each other all the more. Then life became so beautiful again. The sun broke low from cloud heights. Then we both knew. Love only becomes strong through the voices. They touch the marrow. Isn't that so sweet? What a little treasure found on the back of this cheap print. For the engagement, our dear Matilda Mauker, 18th of the 1st, 1927. And it looks like the couple that received it kept it all their lives, for it just to end up into the junk store recently. I hope you've enjoyed that, my dear friends. So these are scissor cut. I've got a few of these original ones from the 1920s. I might do one for a giveaway. Okay, 45, that's pretty good. They're original scissor cut pictures. Quite a large junk store. A lot of crap in it too. A couple of good things. And look, Audrey! We just went to visit her grave, and here she is popping up in all her beautiful butterfly colours. Isn't she gorgeous? What else do we have? Bye-bye, Audrey, by the way. Here we have an interesting dried, preserved floral frame from 1883, looking quite faded and gruesome now. Do you remember Silence of the Lambs when Clarice goes into his lockup and there's a big sort of a framed specimen case of butterflies? It looks a bit like that. I actually saw one many years ago, a framed specimen case of butterflies from the Victorian era. I can't believe I didn't get it. It was so ancient and fabulous looking, and it was 20 years ago. I don't know why I didn't get it. I would grab it now. Never seen one since. Really old with all the old signs to describe each butterfly. Oh well, no point crying over spilt milk. But let me know if there's anything that you've let slip by in the past, any wonderful antique that you wish you had grabbed. And let me know what it was. I'm very interested. Here we have an original Jackson Pollock. I'm going to be rich, I tell you. Rich. Beyond my wildest dreams. And some tired 1970s chairs there, easy chairs. So here we have some old petrol pumps from Horgen, Zurich. Those were the days, eh? Look at that, aren't they fabulous? There's a couple, there's one next to it, I'll show you in a minute. When petrol was still affordable. Look at that. Made to last. So it's telling you how much you're entitled to as a consumer, as a buyer of the petrol. You're not entitled to the petrol inside the pump. Yeah, so there's the top of that slide. Isn't that great? Yeah, it's got a very positive vibe, this place. Okay, well here we have some airline seats. I've seen them around, but what do you do with them? I mean, you could use them for a home cinema, but pretty uncomfortable, you know. Maybe for a bar, sort of trendy bar. What would you use them for? apart from their original purpose of sitting in, but have you any ideas? Sorry about that, I've only went and blocked the damn price tag. It's Marcelin, lurking there. Don't think I can't recognize you, even though you're trying to hide away there under an Audrey Hepburn hat. She knows I've become quite enamored by Audrey, you see, that's why she's wearing that. You're not in the same class, my dear, and you drink too much pink gin. She is a cheap date, though, and she's quite fond of kebabs. Some people have asked me, is Odette jealous of our relationship? Well, no, because Odette knows that Marcelin and myself met each other as extras on the 1988 film Waxwork. And yes, there were some intimate moments, but that's as far as it went. And since then, she's been following me around the globe. I am quite fond of her, in a way. You can probably tell that. We have to stop meeting like this, my dear. People will talk. Here we have some Italian Victorian fashion plates. These were quite popular in the 80s. A lot of people who collected antiques like to have these on the wall. They could be hand-coloured. I didn't really have a close look. They probably are hand-coloured. And here we have a nice organ, which I can't play. A harmonium. See, I'm totally ignorant of these things. Can you hear that? There's people walking on the floorboards above. On the next floor there. It sounds like an old ship, doesn't it? Look at this lovely old hand-painted wardrobe. They don't fetch much. No one wants them anymore. It's such a shame. I'm sure they'd sell in other countries. 240. You wouldn't even get that online. Look at this lamp. Even though it's reproduction, it's quite pretty. I think that would look very nice in the evening. What is this? Is this for spices? Can you tell me? It looks very Eastern. 80 francs, it's not much, is it? I mean, there's a lot of work went into creating that with mother of pearl inlay. Very nice, actually. I mean, it's a bargain, but I haven't. Somebody will know what that is. Tell me what that is. What are these? Sort of an apotheke, a chemist's scales. Very interesting. What is the bulb for? Can anyone tell me what that bulb is for? I'm very intrigued. I have no idea. And look at this, someone has made a marionette, and I'm telling you, it is the spitting image of Bob Dylan. It's Bob, isn't it? Oh my, I hope that hair is not what I think it is. Well, an innovative granny who was brought up in the pre-war years would know the value of thrift and using anything that was at home or close to hand instead of purchasing expensive materials. Waste not, want not, my dears. And here we have a perambulator. Not bad, Nick. Nice little design there, motif on the side. The tassels are a bit faded and frayed and falling apart. I mean, what do you do with one? Do people put dolls in them? Do people still do that? Would you buy it? I mean, look at the price, $350. That's a juicy price. Bloody hell. Would you buy that? This is quite nice. This is Zurich. This is the old part of Zurich. It's a painting. It looks better in the flesh, actually, than it does. It hasn't come up as good on video. Quite nice. It did catch my eye. 200. Yeah, okay. It's not anyone famous. This is called the Verwundete Jäger. So this is obviously the breadwinner has been brought home by his friends, severely injured. And everyone is looking shocked and dismayed. Even the cat is looking shocked. Where are they going to get the titbits from? Yeah, quite a nice antique print. I love the detail. Yeah, they're all looking shocked, thinking, oh my God, we're going to starve to death. And how much was that? Did I see a price? The Verwundete Jäger. I didn't see a price. Sorry about that. This caught my eye. 180. They reckon it's about from 1870, circa 1870. I like this. This would scrub up well. It has a beautiful patina. It just needs some very, very fine grade wire wool and some wax. And that would come up beautiful. I do like that with the inlaid keyholes. Wonderful. You know, that would fit very well in a modern apartment. It's very petite. It's not obnoxious, and it's just so beautiful. Buy it. Now look at these gramophones. I'm very fond of old gramophones, radiograms. Look at the bullseye on that. It's beautiful. Yeah, I've got one myself very similar to this one. This one's very pretty. This one's very pretty. I've got one very similar. I can't get hardly any stations on them anymore. Maybe I have to get a digital radio fitted inside because they look so beautiful. They have such a lovely tone. Here we have a cuckoo clock. Needs assembling. A very nice example. Lots of hand-carved leaves. And I do believe it has some antlers. Is that a bird on top? Yeah, an antler on top. And look at this. Someone has made this by hand. It's a lot of work, isn't it? It's like a little diorama. Look at all the detail they put into it there. Little hand-painted chests in the Alpine style. A little Alpine clock there. Schwarzwald, a Black Forest clock. We have one ourselves. And look, even bread on the table there. And a little bed in the corner. And their hat. They've got their Audrey Hepburn hat there hanging up. Isn't that wonderful? So this is what I found. This was my treasure. It cost me 14 francs. It's a rusty old relic. Milder Chesterfield. It's got a strange patina. It's like half of it's been dipped in water or something like that, or maybe a flooded cellar. It went up to there and took half of the colour off totally. The rest has faded away and chipped away. I like old signs like this, as long as they're original and not repro. This is original. It's only tin. It's not a porcelain shield. Hence 14 francs. But it's cheap and cheerful. Anybody out there who collects tin and porcelain signs, let me know. Let me know what you've got. I'm always interested in old signs. Love them. For those of you who remember our little doggy Fiffa, the Border Terrier, just to include her in this video, she can no longer accompany us on our adventures as she used to do. You may remember her in certain videos where we were out and about. She's too frail now, as you can see. She's basically skin and bone. She eats a lot. She has Cushing's disease, which even though she takes daily medication for, she's still lost a lot of weight. But she has a will to live, and she's still enjoying a quality of life. We would never let her suffer out of our selfishness. When we think she is no longer enjoying life, then we will make that decision. But she loves her food. She loves us. She loves just going around near where we live, not far. Sometimes I have to carry her back. She's elderly. It happens. It's something that we as pet lovers, we all know that one day it will come. I don't know how much longer she has left, but at the moment she's still enjoying life. So I just thought I'd let you know out there for the people who remember Fiffa. She sends her regards. And my dears, on that note, I'm going to wind it up and get this video out for the weekend. Love to hear your comments. Love to hear what you collect. As always, I'm always on the lookout for new junk stores. Any junk stores in Switzerland who want me to tour and give them a shout out, drop me a line. If you're not that far away, I'll definitely pop in. Alright, my dears, take care. God bless. Bye bye.